And welcome back to the Daily Wrap. This is the rhetorical question edition. Speaking of which, is political correctness getting out of control? Budweiser, now under attack on social media over a recent addition to their Up for Whatever Budweiser marketing campaign. The line in question, and we quote, "the perfect beer for removing no from your vocabulary for the night." Good God. Critics of the slogan say it promotes non-consensual sex. Budweiser later apologized and says the slogan was supposed to fit into the campaign of spontaneity and being up for whatever. Bud is not the only company experiencing social media backlash as of late. Just of yesterday, grocery store chain Whole Foods got its share of criticism after giving free food to members of the National Guard in Baltimore during the Freddie Gray protests. People around the country sharing their disgust and anger on Facebook and Twitter, pointing to the hypocrisy that as many school children in Baltimore dependent on school lunch programs go without lunch since schools were closed. Whole Foods is giving away free food to what they call, quote, the oppressor, the National Guard. Whole Foods later tweeted that they were also working with the Baltimore Department of Recreation and Parks to help the lunch and snack donations to everybody, even though is it really their job to feed the entire city? And finally, Clorox was slammed on social media early this month after Apple released 300 new emojis, including some new racially diversive emojis, when the company tweeted, quote, "new emojis are all right, but where's the bleach?" End quote. It's Clorox. They make bleach. Nevertheless, they got killed for it. Clorox may have been questioning why a bleach emoji wasn't part of the new rollout. Social media took the tweet a totally different way, even thinking Clorox wanted to bleach the new racially diverse emojis white. Cue the apology tweet. "Wish we could bleach away our last tweet. Didn't mean to offend. It was meant to be about all the toilet, bathtub, and red wine emojis that could use a cleanup." End quote. Lots of PR nightmares lately coming, everybody. I'm choked up on my own rage from this. Brad, first the Budweiser ad. All right. People get paid for marketing campaigns. And when you're taking no out of the vocabulary and there's alcohol involved and UVA rape, even though that story was false, still, that's a big topic these days. Stupid, but at the same time, if you watch the commercials, it's about basically they tape a guy, and say, okay, up for whatever, and then Warren Sapp appears out of nowhere and he's in his backyard and there's the pirate ship from the Buccaneers shooting cannons out and everything. And it's supposed to be just, hey, you up for going to Vegas one night? Great. So I get what they were doing, but this shows you how powerful social media is now.
Social media is extremely powerful, and as we've said before on this show, with great power comes great responsibility. You tell me, oh Marvel man. Right? Spider-Man said it.
He just whispered in my ear.
We knew.
Because I didn't know that.
Before anybody continues, but just explain quickly what that means so it's not an inside joke.
I used to work at Marvel, so I know Spider-Man.
Okay.
Indeed. I think all three of these stories are quite different. I think the first one, it was stupid, and I'm glad they pulled it. People don't need to be encouraged to forget about the ability to say no any more than they already do when they drink. It wasn't their intent. The ads, some of them are actually funny, but it's really stupid. The middle one about Whole Foods is insane. Right? It's completely insane. They're feeding National Guards people. If that's a problem, you got a problem. Right? Not to mention, if I wanted to go cynical, it would be about protecting their own stores by feeding the National Guards people who need to protect their stores. And the last one about bleach is someone said to Freud, sometimes, doctor, a cigar is just a cigar. That was not about race. It was about getting stains off your toilet. I mean, come on.
But Heather, I think the bigger point is that all of these companies basically capitulated.
Well, that's
Budweiser you get, but Whole Foods and Clorox should have said, no, we didn't mean anything by it, and if you don't like it, don't buy my product.
That's right. But there's a real fear of social media right now because word travels so fast and they rely upon the customer and they're afraid of the customer not coming. And it's not like you or I, who are a little bit offended that they capitulated, are going to stop going to Whole Foods or buying Clorox because of it. But there are others who will have rallies and get people behind a boycott and all kinds of things. It really is, it's getting to the point where political correctness has just taken over the market and made it so that people cannot do, I mean, especially in the case of the whole food thing, just something that's nice. It was just something that's nice. No big deal.
Do you think PC has run
amok?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? It's no secret that judgment and sense of humor are not in ample supply on social media. So what do you see happening? Okay, yeah, the Bud thing probably wasn't very clever, but it's pretty funny. The feeding thing, instead of slamming the National Guard, why don't you just say, hey, that's really nice. You know what would be a good idea? Maybe Whole Foods can help out the kids who aren't in school today and need a
Feed
lunch.
them too.
And we know they would have done it, right? They did
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
The emoji, come on, people. You know what? Get a sense of humor. This country has become so involved in judging everybody and everything. I'm thinking of the woman with the weird hair on CNN that we looked at.
You know what?
You know what?
Movie can never be made today? Cannonball Run.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Where you have basically Sammy Davis Jr.
right.
and Dean Martin as drunk priests driving a Ferrari
right.
across the country,
Yeah, they're
among many other things. What? You're promoting drunk driving?
Yeah.
And they're priests.
Yeah.
And why isn't there a rabbi in there and the whole thing? It would be crazy. Anyway, coming up next is Potluck Time. This is the Daily Wrap only on Newsmax.